even turning off the TV as they said grace. She'd made lasagna, a big salad to keep him healthy and in shape, ice cream since the next wrestling tournament was weeks away. It had been a perfect day. Damn near everything had clicked into place. Now he was being pushed into the back of a squad car with Tim. He'd like to be mad at his friend, but this wasn't his fault. No one forced him into that garage to see if they could find a can of gas. Controlled substance. Now he'd be labeled a drug addict, too. He tried to calm himself, think rationally. You let your head get filled with a bunch of junk, and you can't think straight. What he did wasn't smart, but it wasn't the worst. He'd tell his dad the truth. He'd never lied to him. His dad knew some Blackburn cops, and they'd straighten out the whole mess. This was a mistake, a really bad mistake, but just a screw-up. Nothing like this ever screwed up a person's whole life. A person does the right thing every day of his life, and that has to mean something. A kid pushes himself to run faster, lift more, not ever quit. You build up some kind of points for that, right? "Can I have my phone back?" he said. The cop didn't answer. "Don't I get to make a call?" "You can do that at juvie intake," the cop said. The young cop wasn't looking at him as he slammed the door shut. "What do we do now?" he said to Tim. "Pray hard and fast," Tim said. "We're freaking screwed." Chapter 1. On the first day of February, the coldest day of the year so far, I took it as a very good omen that a woman I'd never met brought me a sandwich. I had my pair of steel-toed Red Wings kicked up on the corner of my desk, thawing out, when she arrived. My morning coffee and 2 corn muffins were a distant memory. She laid down the sandwich wrapped in wax paper and asked if my name was Spencer. "Depends on the sandwich." "A grinder from Copa in the South End," she said. "Extra provolone and pickled cherry peppers." "Then my name is Spencer," I said, with an S like the English poet. "Rita said you were easy." "If you mean Rita Fiore, she's not one to judge." "She also said you're tough." "True." "And hard-headed." "Also true," I said. "And did she say if you scratched behind my left ear, my leg would shake?" "No," the woman said, squeezing into a client chair. "But when I told her my problems, she said to go see Spencer." "And bring him a sandwich?" "She said that would help." I shrugged and walked over to the Mr. Coffee on top of my file cabinet, poured a cup and offered her one. She declined. I mixed in a little sugar, set the spoon on the cabinet, and moved back to my desk. My pea coat and Brooklyn Dodgers cap hung neatly from my coat tree. "You can go ahead and eat," she said. "Don't let it get cold." I unwrapped the sandwich, which was still miraculously warm, and took a bite. I nodded with appreciation. The woman had indeed made a friend. Outside, traffic bustled and zoomed along Berkeley and Boylston. It was still early, but dark and insular, with snow predicted all week. I had crossed winter days off the calendar until opening day for the Sox. "My name is Sheila Yates," she said. 3 weeks ago, my son Dylan was taken from me by the state of Massachusetts. He was sentenced to 9 months in a juvie facility out in the harbor." She motioned with her chin, as if you could see the harbor from the back bay. I was still able to leap medium-sized buildings in a single bound, but my X-ray vision was a bit iffy. Sheila was big and blonde, with thick, overly styled hair, a lot of makeup, and gold jewelry. She wore a blue sweater and blue jeans under a heavy camel-colored coat. She also wore a lot of perfume, which in small quantities might have been pleasant. "What did he do?" I said. "Jack shit." "Okay," I said. "What was he charged with?" "Terrorism, stalking, and making physical threats against the school administrator." I started to whistle, but my mouth was full. I chewed and swallowed, and then took a sip of coffee. "You want to know what he really did?" I nodded. "He set up a fake Twitter account for his vice principal," she said. He's a funny kid.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.